We are go for liftoff in T minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Gosh, that's swell.
It's a Lowe's Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to another Italo's Black Tag Radio show. This is Italo, and who do we have on the other side?
Grandponch or Rick.
Grandponch, right.
Yep.
So there's a story behind that, but before we get into that, let me just say thank you for joining me, and you were able to just figure it out before I even got on this Zoom meeting. You're already waiting. I'm like, oh, wow, he's that.
I've got some experience with it, yeah. Thanks to work.
Cool. So welcome to the show. We met through, actually, I listened to your podcast with Liquid Shano.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned about you. And then I typed it in. And so that's how it started. But for those that haven't met you, tell us a little bit of your story. Why the name Grandponch?
Okay, we'll do that, and that we'll go over the name, and then I'll tell you where that came from. Grandponch came from I bought a motorcycle, my first motorcycle. Never ridden before. Bought my first motorcycle. Got certified in end of 2018, and bought my first one in April of 2019. Got the moniker or the name Grandponch from my kids, because back in high school, I looked like Ponch from Chips. And so they said, well, yeah, there are my three grandkids sitting there with me, and I'm a gray bearded dude. So Grandponch was born that day on my birthday. So I got Grandponch, and then everybody calls me Ponch, which is perfect. I'll take it.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
The name sticks for sure. Every time I see you, I'm like, oh, Punch is here.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Love it.
So tell us a little bit more about what got you into the bike and the bike riding, because I mean that's it's not unusual that you started this. You always had this in mind. So,
Yeah.
But what made you do it? What made you get it?
Well, in 2018, June, my wife passed away. In August, 7 weeks later, my dad passed away. And so we were dealing with that. And man, I was just so much going on, and, talking to mom, taking care of, trying to help her. And I'm 250 miles away. So it started being twice a month trips back and forth or whatever, do that. And I got to thinking, life is short, man. That happens, that hits you, and life is short. And I'm like, I've always wanted to ride. I've never ridden before. So I promised myself, I said, I'm going to get certified before 2018 is over. And the weekend right before, actually, I think it was the 29th and 30th, I think it was, of December, I got certified. Cold, rainy, out there in a little motorcycle. Got certified, ready to go. And then I didn't buy the bike until April of the next year. But that's what got me on the bike. And so I was certified, ready to go. Got my name given to me before 2 months before I got the bike. And then I love it, man. Been riding the bike. I haven't been riding lately because COVID, and we're working from home. I wind up sitting here too long at the desk. But yeah, I need to get back out and enjoy it. It's freeing. It's some therapy, wind therapy they call it, and it's nice. But,
And that's the thing with forget about COVID, but for me it was transitioning from a cubicle job that I had for 24 years.
Oh yeah.
To being an Uber driver, and started doing Uber because I needed some money, and I didn't want to go back to what I was doing before, which paid good money, good benefits, blah, blah, blah. But it was driving me insane being trapped in that cubicle. And I mean, I got inspiration, and don't get me wrong.
Right?
I
Oh
got very
yeah.
inspired to write and to just channel my energy to my poetry, which I learned that you're a poet too recently. Not, I was 10 seconds ago, 10 minutes ago, I learned that you're a poet. So
A
I was
little bit.
like,
I need to do more of that. I haven't been
yeah,
doing a lot of
yeah.
that.
I was like, all right, all right. Hopefully we can hear some of your poetry. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I was saying is that it was the transition from going from a cubicle, secure job, secure paycheck, to now going to an unsecure because Uber and Lyft is really like up.
Oh
You have
yeah.
to put the hours in, but I felt liberated. I felt happy. I welcomed people into my car, which I would have never done before. And it was very new, and it was very, and I got to drive everywhere in LA, which is crazy, and yet it's still great. It's a great city to drive, to
Yeah.
meet people, and so I get what you're saying. That I don't know if that's what happened to you, that you transitioned from what you were doing.
I'm in the same job I've been in. February will be 4 years. I'm in the same job, but with COVID hit, we started working from home, and so I'm working from home. I'm actually allowed. I can go back to the office if I want. And he says you can come. He says that. I said, he says if you're getting it done from home, you can work from home. I'm like, yeah. I said you're getting more work out of me when I'm at home anyway. I'm not going.
Okay.
It's 5 o'clock. Let's go. I'll sit here and I'll look up and go, oh look, it's 6:15. I'm still working. Walk 6 feet over to the couch. But it works for me, and um, see where I keep going.
Right.
But yeah, I'm enjoying it and got some other ideas in my head, and we'll see where we go. But that's the whole thing. With my situation, it just kind of channeled and it's opened up my eyes, and just like you feel kind of liberated. And it's like, okay, life is short. What am I going to do today? Wake up. What am I going to do today? Tomorrow comes. What am I going to do tomorrow? And what do I want to do from here? Do I want to keep doing this? So it really just opens your eyes.
Right. And so from what you were doing before, so explain to me like what, because there had to be a reason, like what pushed you to, because I'm sure dealing with the grief from your wife and your parent and your father,
Mm-hmm.
in such a short time. Um, so what called you to like say suddenly, like, was there a moment?
I don't know if there was a moment. It was I thankfully to my job, when my wife, she was in the hospital for 14 days before she came home, and so I was able to work from the hospital. So they actually had her in a room, and I was in a little room behind her bed, little couch and TV and whatever. So I sat there and answered calls and did work. And then if I needed to leave to see what was going on with her, I did that. She came, did that, came home. She was only home for 4 days before she passed. They thought it was going to be longer. It was 4 days, and that was it. And then jumping from that to the oldest of three brothers, I am. One brother's in overseas contract work, and then I rushed there, and hey, Dad's, it's getting to the end, so I rush over there, and I'm there 7 weeks early. I'm holding my wife's hand when she passes. Now I'm holding Dad's hand as he's giving his last breath. And I told my brother to get Mom in here, and then they go, okay, Rick, what do we do? You've been through this already. What do we do? So that was the point where, okay, this is what we need to do. He's on hospice. We need to call these people. We need to do this. And then you just real quick, just jump into it. And then from there, it was like, I didn't take much time off. I was already back to work. So I let work know, hey, I got to go, and then come back. And it was just, Mom did the same thing. We're that kind of people where we took the time and went right back to work within a week or two.
Okay.
But it really does open your eyes. It was after that point, and I just kind of come back to the apartment, and then you start being alone, and you start figuring, and yeah, there's some depression going on, and there's some anxiety going on. Even still, sometimes I get to the door and I put my hand on the door and I go, nope, not today. and I don't go anywhere, so it still hits. So I think that's why, like on TikTok, when I do my posts on there about grief, about anxiety and whatever, I'm living it. I've been in it. And a lot of times when you're in that situation or just coming out of it, that's the best time you can help somebody else that's going through it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times you become a pro at it, so you can help the people that are doing it. So I look at that, and that's good for me. That's my coping mechanism.
Yeah. No, and I see it also as in my own experience too. Going through depression, going through anxiety, going through, panic attacks that I went through.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very mental actually for me. So now, even though I'm not in that place where I was more, I had a more reliable income at the time. I wasn't happy. I was not happy. Like you couldn't, you know. I was just numb. Like I was just going through the motions.
Yeah.
And so once I started doing what I really wanted to do is theater. So anyway, long story short, when I finally did it, even though it wasn't paying, like right now there's no theater, like forget it. So and the point is that also TikTok too, like I found this community of people. I'm sure you did too. So tell us about that experience, because it's been a blessing in disguise to be in the quarantine.
I'm telling you, it really, it really has. Shane asked me this when I did the interview before, and people have asked me, how did you get on TikTok? My kids were on it. My kids are adults. I'm 53 and I got grown kids, and my kids were on it. And my son-in-law kept sending me TikToks. Hey, Dad, did you see this one? I'm like, no. And at that point, I don't think you could just go look at them unless you signed it. It kept asking me to sign in. I'm like, I don't want to sign in. It's this kids app. I don't want to sign in there. So I did. Long story short, I logged in. I started watching the ones he was sending me. And I go, how does this work? So I started looking at some others. I found some X3-in-1 Christian talks that he was doing. And I'm like, well, I'm a Christian. I'm going through this. That's helpful for me right now. So I started doing that. And then I started doing right around Christmas of 2019. I think I did my first TikTok doing a thing from the Santa Claus. I was trying to do the voice. I've got my iPad over here, the sound. I haven't gone in here to get audios. I'm doing it from over here. And I'm just like, so I started trying to do some poetry or reading something. They didn't go over real well, and I was getting a little flustered. And then I started doing duets. Started doing the voices. And then I started meeting people. And even to this day, it's great. I jump into somebody's live, and the reaction I get, Grandponch, oh, I'm so glad you're here. And the people on here just make you feel welcome. You've got this group of people that follow you, that you're following, And I did something different today. I think I've done it before, but I had a new follower. Somebody liked the thing, they followed me. Small account, just getting started. I liked theirs. I looked. She had the perfect TikTok. Was one this morning with the bed head, and I did my beard was split.
Yeah. The one I did, I duetted too.
Yeah, the one you duetted, exactly. That was her first duet. She didn't have anybody duet her before. So you and I jumped in, and she was just like, "Oh, this is great." And that's the thing. You don't know how you're going to affect somebody just by liking or commenting or jumping in. And that's the thing, the community. And yeah, being in COVID, sitting here alone a lot of the time, man, that helps. And I've actually made friends that now I'm on Snapchat with a group of 14 people or whatever that we all talk off of TikTok. And man, it's amazing.
It's really amazing because you never know who you're going to meet, like today I probably met, I don't know, 10, 20 people.
Yeah.
And and then it's amazing. It was actually a great, during a live. And you probably met this guy. I forget his name right now, but he's Liquid Shano's twin brother on TikTok.
Oh.
Anyways, I don't know his name.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
He's always imitating Liquid Shano, the coffee talk thing.
You know, I
And
haven't seen him. I've heard somebody
yeah,
talk about it, but I haven't seen him.
oh my God, I was on his live. I was in his live, and then he was just, anyways. It was a great live because all of a sudden he just burst into song because there was a something playing on Alexa or Spotify, and everybody got I got chills. I was like, "You got like the most amazing," and he's a grief counselor of all things, and I'm like,
No kidding.
"But you're a singer," and so that's interesting. You know,
Yeah.
like there's people that go into TikTok, and they do something, you know, completely different than what they are in real life. And so when you really get to know them, you're like, oh, you're a therapist, or you're, you know, a housewife, or whatever, mom, whatever
Yeah.
you are. But in TikTok, you're just so famous, and you're so, you know, it's amazing. It's really amazing.
It is. I see these, and that's one I you see these people and you're on there, go, man, look, they've got all these followers. Look how many likes they've got. Look what they're doing. Oh, they're great. And then you find out. I'll give you a perfect example. There's this girl, Granny. She does a lot of the 80s, 70s, 80s music, and a lot of times it's just 30 seconds. In 30 seconds, she'll have 4 or 5 transitions, and
Mm.
she'll have 10 different editing effects done on there in a 30-second video. And I'm like, how long? And you know how long it can take her to do that, but she
Yeah.
does them. And I jumped into her live one night and hear the kids in the background. She's, oh yeah, my husband's over there. I got to kind of be, he's over there working. And so all of a sudden, here's a
Yeah.
mom sitting on her bedroom floor with the phone in front of her. The kids are over here being a little loud. But when you see the videos, you're like, you don't picture that,
Right. Exactly.
you know? So it's different. And that's the thing with the lives too. Then you kind of get a little bit more of the real person, a little more personal, like you're saying, oh, I didn't know you were a therapist, or
Yeah.
whatever, you know,
Exactly.
housewife or whatever. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. Yeah. People don't know that I'm a Uber driver, or I used to do customer service. You know, people
Yeah.
don't know that. They just see my videos and they're like, okay, sure, I'll follow you. And but yeah, it's more, you explore different things and different ways to cut your video down, because for me, 30 seconds, and I've done some 30-second ones today, so it's not hard. It's just finding the right comedic timing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
weird.
It is. You start learning that. Yeah. And she'll do some 15-second ones. I'm just like, man. But yeah, and that's the thing. And I'll do a lot of times I'll start doing a minute long. I'm going, yeah, that's too long. I need to cut it short. A minute.
TikTok doesn't have enough attention span for 1 minute.
Right. Exactly. And I've seen a lot of people will do the 15 to 30, and that's all they do. I'm
Okay.
like, man, that needs to be longer.
That's a trick that you have to do, yeah. Because there was one that I did that it was just, you know, ET, phone home, and it just touch me, and that was like not even 20 seconds. That was the most popular thing ever. I'm like, and I do poetry and all these things on my lives, and I'm like,
look at this one that I spent this time. Yeah, and that's
no editing, nothing. It was like,
yep. And that's what surprises you. And then you start thinking, I'm overthinking some of these.
exactly.
I'm overthinking some of these. Some of these, if it's just quick, and then you think about it. If I'm sitting here and I'm working from home, I try not to get on TikTok much, but sometimes it's like I need to get my eyes off of this screen. I come down here and I go, here's a 18-second video. That was funny. I took a little break. Okay, back to work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you one of those people that have their live? Do you go live and then you go to work? Like I couldn't do that. Now, there's some people that I see they have their phone on and they're typing and then looking. I'm like, that's
no. I've been live twice, but it was on the same day. I did one in the morning and I did one at night, and it's been about a month. I haven't done a live since, and I need to do another one. People loved it; they enjoyed it. And I've had my friends that I jumped in. They go, "So what do you? I don't have any games to play. I don't go." I said, "I didn't do anything. I sat there. I put some music on in the background, and I sat there and just talked to people. I mean, you get enough people that are sending you comments, you're just responding,
right.
and it's making sure
it's very therapeutic. I think, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, and then the people like it because they get to know a little bit more about you.
Right. Because I was on your live, and then I jump in and out of your live, and then you were on for hours. And
I meant to go off. It'll be about an hour. People get bored. I was on
I
for
think
2
you were on.
hours in the morning, and I was on for 2.5 hours at night. I'm just like, man, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I kept
yeah.
people's
Time
attention.
flies on TikTok, like
Yeah,
yeah. I still have people that haven't transitioned. They're still on Facebook or Instagram, and I'm like, by the time you get to TikTok, you know, whatever.
yeah. And some people won't, and I see some people that are doing good, staying on both of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the beard group that I got invited to join. That was crazy. I tell mom, I go visit mom and my brothers. I said, "Yep, yeah, I'm doing this on TikTok." I said, "I'm big in Norway." They go, "You
Norway.
are?" I said,
Okay.
"Yep." That's where that ring came from. I did a video on that.
Oh, cool.
They
Okay.
asked me, it's the Shegman Club, which is Sheg is beard, men's beard group, men's beard club.
Oh, okay.
But it's the largest one in Scandinavia. And he was on TikTok, and he asked me to join. I said, sure. They sent me a ring, got a couple patches, and I'm like, cool. So I'm going to get a denim vest, and I'll put the patches on it. And but they're on Facebook. So they're on Facebook, too, and they've got a big group there. So I'm jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
I haven't been out there much, but I start going, and I've got family there, so I've got to go in and make sure I'm alive.
Exactly.
I'm still around.
Yeah, if you want to see me more often, go to TikTok.
That's right.
Yeah. So, what are your children saying about your TikToks?
They love them. They love them. They at first they were just like, oh, and they go, oh, Dad's on. He's going to see mine. I won't look at yours if you don't want me to. I won't go to your page if you don't want me to go look. So, but they started watching me, and they just can't believe. And I'll probably do a little video or doing it live. I can't believe I'm still under 5,000 followers, which is fine with me because I'm losing people already. I'm going, man, I haven't seen this person, so I start trying to go back and go to the people I follow. But I've got over 90,000 likes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man.
And how long have you been on? How long has it been since you started?
I think I started Christmas last year. As far as where I started making my first one, it was right around Christmas last year. I did one here, and then I did one at my brother's house. It was in the morning, and it was a guy that's actually on the radio, I think. He's got this voice. He says, people ask me my age. I say, too young for Life Alert, too old for TikTok. Or Snapchat. Too old for Snapchat. That's what it was.
Oh, Snapchat, yeah.
Too young for Life Alert, too old for Snapchat. And people go, oh, that's great. I'm like, yeah, it's not me. And that's the other thing. A lot of people, they think it's your voice if you're doing a lip sync. Marty Ray Project, the singer, he's bearded. He's a big guy like me, bearded. He's got a voice. Oh, I love it. And I love doing his. And sure enough, every time I do one of his, I tell people, oh, I love your voice. I even put his name all over it.
Yeah, because you gotta give credit to the creator.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he's great. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
So,
although somebody said once, it's like, we're not really creators, we're co-creators. I'm like, that makes sense. From you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't want to be called the God. I'm not God, not the creator. So co-creator is good. I'm happy with that title.
I'm a good co-creator. I'm a good copycat. I told people before, they said, you're so good at lip sync, though. I thought it was you. So I've been practicing. I told this in Shane's. I've been practicing all my life. I go, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I've been practicing for TikTok all my life. How? I used to do it when I was a kid. If you were talking, I would try to say the same thing you were saying, almost at the same time.
Okay.
I could kind of guess what you were going to say, and I would look at your mouth, and I could do that somewhere. Right. Yeah, so that's why I'm okay at lip syncing. So.
Well, for me, it was learning English. When I learned English, I had to I had to mimic the people that I was listening to. So
yeah, Yeah.
He was either the Beatles or he was either some, well, I grew up with music, so music was probably the best way for me to learn it.
Yeah. I've heard that music or TV, and music's usually a good way.
Yeah.
And I work with, there's not many of us at the office, but it's a French company. So my manager's got the French accent. He also speaks Spanish
Mhm.
and English with the accent. His Spanish is really good. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But he was down that area for 12, 13 years. The other guy is Korean. He's been here since he was 18. He's a year or two older than me. He's still got the accent, man. And I listen to the two of them talking to each other. And he's saying this, what? He doesn't understand what he's saying. And I'm sitting there and I pick up on that and I know what they're saying. I'm just sitting there listening. I had to get up a couple of times going there. Okay, he's trying to say this.
Yeah. I'll be your
interpreter.
Growing up, you learned Spanish as you grew up, or was it that you already knew Spanish and then you learned English?
I don't know Spanish. I know very little.
Oh, okay.
I know very little. Yeah. So here's my French manager speaking Spanish, and I'm like, yeah, can you take this Spanish call? Because I can't talk to him.
Yeah. Right.
We grew up in Western New York, and Mom was from San Antonio, Texas. We grew up in New York, and there was nobody for her to talk to that spoke Spanish. And so she didn't teach us when we were there, because she and Dad come from a time where even that back then, being Hispanic and white, that was almost taboo, you know? And so I think what she did up there, she kind of wanted to maybe fit more into the white part.
Mm-hmm.
And so now go, Mom, why didn't you teach us?
Yeah. Well,
You know?
I was lucky to have been, in Peru when I learned Spanish. I was actually more, and you get a different understanding of your culture.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up there, I didn't know anything about America, so anything I learned from America was through, again, music, TV, movies.
Yeah.
And then I get here and I'm like, this is Hollywood. This sucks.
It's not like I thought it was going to be.
No, it's like that song from the Cranberries. It's like, is this Hollywood? No, this is not Hollywood.
No.
But yeah, and yeah, I mean, but it's interesting. Same as Russia. When I was in Russia too, they have the weirdest opinions about America live, and I'm like, you have like no clue, as I have no clue about Russians, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was interesting. I love culture.
I bet.
So it's amazing.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, on my bucket list, I'd made a comment somewhere about my bucket list would be my wife and I wanted to go see the Northern Lights. So Alaska would be good. Iceland is a really good place to go.
Yeah.
As soon as I mentioned that, the guy in the club that sent me the ring said, "We have the Northern Lights in Norway. You should come here."
Yeah.
I was like, that would be cool.
If there was no travel ban, believe me.
Right? Norway, let's go.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Well,
I've talked to my kids and I told them, I said, what I'd like to do, I would love to be able to get on the bike and just travel, go meet everybody I've met on TikTok in the U.S.
That's what I heard. Somebody was doing that. Somebody's actually meeting different TikTokers. Wow. I don't know. I haven't followed their page, but yeah, that sounds amazing. Like, that's something I would do if I was. I'm not attached to where I'm at, but it's also, I have stuff here that I couldn't do. Just take off, and then not come back.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, because you're on a bike.
I get on the bike, but then that's the other thing. I got my kids and grandkids here where I am. And then San Antonio with Mom and my brother. And then the other brother, when he's in town, he's contract overseas. So when he's there, so I've got family there too. And I'm like, I would love to be able to just go though.
Right.
Just take off.
Well, that was one of my plans. I'm like, I'm just gonna, and I went to Russia and then I was like, I don't want to come back. Like, I had that idea. I'm like, I'm not gonna come back. I'm gonna tour with this theater production all over Europe. That was my plan.
Nice.
But no, that didn't happen. And actually, I was homesick after 2 months of being in Russia and then not seeing the daylight some days. I was just like, no, this is not for me. Love the culture and everything. Love St. Petersburg, but you still miss home. You know, this is home to me
Yeah.
now. So
Yeah, I get it.
right.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, like you said with the travel van.
what kind of music do you play on your? How do you play music? Do you have like the big speaker on your? I don't know. I just picture you with a big speaker, like bumping your music. I don't know.
No, I've got my Alexa. Yep, she opened up. I've got that and my iTunes on the phone. And that's about it. And I can't listen to it during the day. Cancel.
Good.
And I can't listen to it during the day because I'm working and I've got a phone and I get calls. So I do tech support. So I get calls and I work through things on the computer, spreadsheets and things. So I miss music because I used to listen to it in my truck all the time. And now I'm not driving to
Right.
work. So
You get rid of your truck altogether, or do you still keep your truck?
I've got the truck and the bike. I've got both of them. The truck, if I don't ride the bike, I'll take the truck. I took the truck this weekend to go visit the family because it was 43 degrees. That would have been really cold on the bike.
Yeah.
And then I did a video. I sat in traffic for an hour, stopped. It was
Oh, that's
18.
right.
Yeah. Oh, man. And it's like, you know, so you turn that, and that's my other thing with everything that's happened. My outlook on things, I can't control it. Make the
Right.
best of it. I'm here. You know,
Do a TikTok about it.
do a TikTok about it. Especially when
Right.
there's a guy standing on top of his dump truck trying to see the accident. Yep. And then I got done with the TikTok and people were walking by and we started talking. You got people here. We are, you know, on a 2-lane highway that's normally 75, 80 miles an hour. We're standing there talking. So,
Right.
yeah, make the best of it. Can't change it. Can't fix it. So I'm not going to stress about it.
Right. So where do you see Punch doing next year?
Next year.
If everything, you know what I mean? Like if everything
Yeah.
goes back to normal.
If everything goes back to normal, well, they're talking about some changes with my job. There's another division they're talking about wanting to start up. So I'd have to see what they want to do, and they want me to be a part of it. So if that happens, that keeps me here. If they want to do that and some things don't come along with it and it's just more work, I'm going to start looking at really getting rid of a lot of stuff and downsizing. And
Oh, you were talking about minimizing.
yeah, minimizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, still working on that. There's just so much stuff here. I start looking at things. I've got a garage with boxes. I start looking at a box and going, I don't need any of that.
Yeah.
It's been sitting in the garage for 3 months. I don't need it. So that's what I'm looking at. So I'm going to start donating some things and doing whatever. And just life is too short. I don't need a lot of stuff. And I want to be able to just go if I want to go. My wife and I had planned on doing full-time RVing. And we were looking, she was going to go to school, do some digital artwork, do that as a job. And then he said, what would you do? I said, well, that's the thing. You can get set up and through Workforce or whatever. And hey, I need a job for 3 weeks in this city. We're going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, or for 2 weeks, we're going to do for 3. We're going to stay in this national park for 3 weeks. And I need to work for 2 and have a week to spend exploring or doing whatever with her.
Yeah.
So that's what we planned on doing. Am I going to do that? I don't know. It's different when you start thinking of it by yourself, but I still want that freedom. So next year, maybe start looking at that. I got to get this stuff done around here, and then yeah, I'm on it. Honestly, I want to start doing a podcast. I've got people. You'd be great at. You need to do it, and thank you for inviting me because now you got the bug again. I'm like, yeah, I need to do that. I need to.
Yeah, I got that on. Yeah, I had a couple of people that were in my. Marcus is one of them. He wants to do a podcast. Somebody else was on my live on my podcast too, and they were like, "Yeah, this is what I wanted to do too." And so, hey, let's start. You know, I don't. You know, I'm not jealous. I'm not competing.
Well, and I started thinking. I listened to Shane's on my way to San Antonio, I was listening to his podcast, his last one. He's talking about a lot of the same things that I'll talk about, but from his perspective.
Yeah.
And from his background. So even if it's similar, it's different, and I'll have a different following, or some of the same, but I'll have another following too. And he lost his dad last year, so we've got that grief thing in common as well. And a lot of people as we're getting older, a lot of people will. But to have it from different perspectives, so that's right. It's just like TikTok. Well, I'm not going to make this one because so and so used it.
Yeah.
So,
people grieve different ways. People grieve different ways. So your way of grieving is different than Shane's.
Exactly.
So Rick is not going to grieve the same way that Shane is.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, and then my mom hears me laugh a lot. She says, you laugh. I wish I could laugh like you. I love to laugh. I love comedy. And then I also do things. I'm going, Mom, it's so good for you to do it. You need to do it more, So I catch her doing it, and I have fun with her when I go see her. I'll do something to have fun with her, or I try to get her to out or watch something or do whatever, so she's not just sitting at home,
Right.
So, and that's another thing that changed. I didn't talk to her every day before, but since that's happened, I talk to her every night.
Right.
So
yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's tough when you have but it's a thing too. They have to have their. I only have 3 minutes left. Okay. Anyways, what I'm going to say is, sometimes you want your parents to have. They cannot really have you all to themselves. They have to find. Like I had to do this with my mom too, and we kind of have to put boundaries too. And now, not just able to find out her own her own group of people that she wants to talk to now, because I'm not there all the time on purpose, because I'm like, right. I've had it with her.
Yeah, I called her a few days ago, and she had this, I have to call you later. I'm having dinner with my friends, and she showed me. I'm like, good, go.
Right. Yeah.
So I love that. I like that she's got friends that she's having dinner with, and she's doing things. So that's good. I like to hear that too. So I don't worry about her as much, and she's getting out of her normal zone.
Exactly. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Yep. But hey, Rick, we are closing. Less than a minute. Well, okay. I want to again thank you for coming through. I will be talking to you later, but I do want to be in your podcast whenever you have,
you got it,
guests coming through. Of course, Shane will probably be another one.
Yep. So far, I'm going to be bugging you about some pointers too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We'll
just talk offline. But anything you want to say to your audience?
Just appreciate all of them. It's helped me so much, and the TikTok and people, the welcome you get when you join a live, or if you jump in, or comments you get. It's great. It just keeps you wanting to do it. So I'm going to keep making them.
Right. All right, guys. Didn't see this coming, right?
We are go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Hit the record button.